I'm sorry, guys. I hope you understand my frustration here. But if we look right here, you can see that 8th spot would have been 13 points. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Motorsport Manager with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to the aftermath of our practice session in the Black Sea Grand Prix. We were out here last time around, actually going around the circle at a rather decent pace, I would say, with a rather comparable time, because this time around all of our competitors actually went out on comparable tyres. There was no weather adversity, no nothing, so I would hope that the 6th and 8th spot that we got here today are at least somewhat indicative of what we should be hopefully able to do in the race. But it is going to be a rather crucial one indeed, because this is one of the last 2 races of the season. We're still like a good 20 points away from where we need to be in order to not get fired from our own team, and things are really not looking that bright currently. So we really do need some miracles here, and I hope that we will get them today when we get into this very race. But before we get started on that one, if you're new around here, if you do happen to enjoy this episode, please make sure to go ahead and smash that subscribe button right down below. That would mean the absolute world to me. We are slowly but surely trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every single person just truly helps out a ton. So thanks so much if you did that. And with that out of the way, let's go and hit that continue button, and let's get moving to the race. Nothing about us here today, which is totally fine. Don't need to be overconfident and, you know, screaming we're going to win when we don't know what's really going to happen. And here is the grid at the end of the day. Honestly speaking, if you look at that grid of drivers and where our drivers are at, given that, keep in mind, you know, it's a reverse grid of the championship order, you would think we're not even too badly off, because the idea is that we should be 8th as a team. And, well, both of our drivers are actually doing quite well in that regard. You know, if you look at the overall drivers field, there's literally 2 sets of cars that are behind them, but the thing is, it's like one driver that's worse, there's one driver that's better for all the teams, so that's really what's messing us up here, because this is not consistently 2 teams being worse than us, so that is the big issue. That said, let's keep that out of the way. We're gonna go and actually get some knowledge going here, and I'm not quite sure if we want the performance increase or the pit stop guru. I think we go for the performance increase on Andre's end. And then here for Hong, maybe we just kind of, you know, mix up the knowledge bits a bit. Maybe here we go for the 1 second faster pit stop, and we do just look and see what ends up working out better for us. All these things are nicely set up, which is beautiful. The thing that we do actually need to change, though, or look at least, is the tyre strategy. So we've got 26 laps. Whew. Which is actually quite crazy, because that would indicate that even with Andre, we can only do 1 soft stint and 2 medium stints if we want to get through the race in 2 stops, which probably is the way that we would want to go. So, well, I mean, we're going to have softs at the start. The question is how we plan out the fuel. If we go 7 to 9 laps only with the fuel, I'm not actually sure quite what the condition of his parts looks like. I think it is rather good. So if we plan on hitting 6 laps with him, which I guess is the realistic one, we should go for 8 laps of fuel, to be honest. The question is, what do we in that case even plan with Hong? Is it even possible, given how quickly he goes through tyres? This one's telling me 6 to 8, so we would have to plan 5, and then, yeah, but like this is... Jesus Christ, do we need an extra pit stop with Hong now? I think the alternative with Hong is either we do 3 stints of mediums, or we do 4 stints. Because like these, like when the game says 6 to 8, we're going to hold on to dear life for like 5 maybe. So this is going to be 5 laps, this is going to be 9 laps, and 9 laps again, and then we're at 23, we need to go 26, so that's not an option. I think given that it's only 3 laps of a difference, we won't be able to catch up on that with another pit stop, to be honest. Unless we do 2 sets of softs and 2 sets of medium, but that would be like 10, we would be at like 18 laps. I don't know if that's really the fastest strategy. Because, I mean, 5 laps, even if we're like 2 seconds quicker a lap, that's like 10 seconds that we gain from that strategy. And the pit stop's like, what, 30? I think we're gonna want to make sure that we don't have too many pit stops. So we're gonna go for the mediums, I think, and we're literally just gonna go mediums only on him. Good thing being that for like the knowledge part, we're not choosing the soft tire knowledge anyways for Hong. So we're gonna target, I think, 11 laps per. Well, no, not 11 laps, 9 laps per tire, or maybe we should plan 8. Then 9 and then 8, because, well, you know, the tires last a little longer than they need to, and that would give us the opportunity to push a little harder at the start. So I think we're going to put plan 8, 9, 8, which means we're going to start with 10 laps of fuel, and then we're going to go like that. Cool. That is our strategy, of course. You know, attack, push, go, go, go. And we're going to have to actually make sure to keep an eye on things, because the driver strategies are quite differing. Oh! Wait, they're actually further up front than I thought they were. Okay, I thought we were still yellow, but we are, of course, not this season, so that's the difference. But, let's go. Get going in that Grand Prix. Solid start for both of them, which is beautiful to see. First corner coming in, and that went all quite fine for us indeed. Going to go and watch the first few corners here, in particular, Hong being slowed down by the person in front of him and then not being able to overtake. There he goes! Hong overtaking into 3rd position, which is absolutely beautiful, I would argue. And Gomez now kind of being hung up behind Hong, and I'm really considering to go and pull a team strategy here. Honestly speaking, just overtake him. Come on, mate. Yes, do it. Yes. Ah, beautiful. Okay. They managed to sort it in between themselves, so that's fine. Hong is now in 2nd spot. Nice up and ahead. Gomez hanging back a bit further, which I guess, given the driver difference and the car difference, is more than expected. So all fine there, most certainly. And on they go into the 2nd lap. Now, the thing that we probably need to take care of here, well, it can leave the engines kind of maxed out. I would go and probably get the tyre strategies tuned down at least a tad bit to make sure that they don't burn up quite that quickly, those tyres. I mean, tyre temperatures all still looking quite fine, so they do at least have some leeway right there. Field is still quite close together at the back here, but at the very least we've not had any crazy weird cataclysms happen just yet. And we are going to go and continue hanging on to dear life here, just like this, I would say. Now, the plan is for Andre to come in, I think, the 6th lap, right? So there is 4 laps to go here. We need to kind of plan this out for him. We did, in 2 laps now, go through 30%. So 4 laps means that at the end of the day, he will be on about 10% of tyre. So we will go and tune down that lap, that strategy. That also said, we've got 4 laps of fuel, so that's totally fine. Hong, I think we wanted to get in the 8th lap. Which, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of fuel remaining. We've completed 2, so he should need to complete another 6. He's got 7.23 laps of fuel, so all quite fine. We will keep it going like that for a little longer, and then we will probably tune down the engine a bit in the next one. For the time being, you know, Hong expectedly kind of pulling away a bit because his tyre strategy is, of course, a little more aggressive than that of Gomez, and Gomez is now starting to be reeled in by first person or 2. Which, you know, at this point in the race, I'm quite fine with. We've really held on to dear life for quite a while here. In terms of engine, I think we're going to leave it here for Andre. We're going to tune down things a little for Hong because he needs to last a little longer and all that fuel that he has. Andre, I think, can keep pushing a little harder. And then we go speed up things a little bit. Now, Andre, as expected, really getting reeled in by a few people here, unfortunately. I guess that's really also the front of the grid now coming through. So that was going to happen at some point. But he is really losing out now that we tune down the strategy, which is really not great. Oh my god, he's just like falling through. Mate, we need some points, please. Can you Can you not lose like 7 spots in one lap? Hong did also get overtaken in the meanwhile, which is certainly not great. But we've got Andre here. 5th lap now starting, so he does need to complete another 2. I mean, for fuel, he does look quite set still. No, he does not need... Yeah, no, he needs to complete another 2. So for fuel, he is still quite set. I think the tyres are quite fine, 50%, so we can make him go a little more aggressive there once more. Hong, on the other hand side, has got 4 laps to go, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. He has got 58% of tyres gone, which is after also 4 laps. So he's pretty much halfway through. I think his tyre strategy is quite fine. Fuel strategy also looks quite good, so we'll keep it going like that then. Hong still in 3rd spot, but he's being caught up to as well now. And let's maybe go and switch to him for the quick second here, as he does get reeled in as well. Gomez is already out of the sponsorship objective, which is certainly less than great. But all these people around us here do seem to have a similar strategy to us, so that's certainly quite the interesting point. Now, Gomez right here, and Hong. We've got Hong firstly, 3.66 laps. I think we can go for a little more aggressive engine strategy again for the time being. Gomez, on the other hand side, will go into the 6th lap now. So what I think we can do with him is we're going to go into high just to make sure he's got enough fuel to get there, but we'll make him push all the last bits out of his tyre, and then we will schedule him to come into the pits. We will go and get him all changed up. He will go for, yeah, 2 10-lap stints now, I guess. So 11 laps of fuel. He will, unfortunately, I would have loved to go for 12 laps of fuel. It's just not an option. We will go fast, of course. We need to catch up in time as per usual and make some things up with our pit crew, and then we will keep it like that and get him in. Hong, on the other hand side, now has got the 5th spot, 4th, 5th, yup, he is being overtaken right there, so that's unfortunately the way that that is going to go. Tyres are getting a bit cold, I have to say, so I will get the strategy a little more aggressive on his end once more to make sure that he keeps them nice and warm. And Gomez is now coming into the pits. On the other hand side, we've got 2.29 laps of fuel remaining for Hong, which is a bit worrying. I think we need to tune down that fuel strategy now. Tyres are fine, we can keep those going like that, and then we will go and keep going right here. I think there was a little mistake there, unfortunately, on the end of the pit crew, costing us 3.8 seconds, which is quite a lot indeed. We will go and push now with Gomez a little bit. Can't do it for too long, at least in terms of the fuel, unfortunately, because that is not going to last us too long. But Hong now being quite fine. I guess the people behind him are going to go into the pit soon anyways. Hong is planned to go out, well, to keep being out there for another lap. And thinking about it, it should be 899, not 898, right? We will need to see, but that is just coming up now. 6th spot for Hong, because somebody just went into the pits in front of him, I guess. Looking at things, 1.2 laps of fuel remaining, so we'll go attack on the tyres. The fuel we will keep as is, and we will already go and schedule him to come into the pits for a new set of tyres and fuel. Plan is now 9 and 9 laps, so tank needs to be filled to the brink, and then that is going to be a fast stop planned for him. Now, we will tune down Andre already in terms of both pits off the strategy, I think, and we will see where he does end up. It's not really the greatest spot in the world. Well, I may say so myself, so, well, we will see just how that is going to go for him. Guy actually made a mistake here up front, which is nice. Hong gained another spot from that, and we're now going to go and hop into the pits. And this one is going to be quite crucial indeed. All good there, all good here, refueling, all good. And we are beautifully finishing that pit stop off without any mistakes. So that is some good news at the very least. Max strategy for Hong, of course, and out we go. So those tyres this time around will need to last a little longer for him, so we do need to keep an eye on that. For Gomez, it's pretty much the same deal as before, so we will just need to wait and see. Gomez did come in the 6th. No, what? Yeah, he came in the 6th lap, so he does need to come in at the end of the 16th lap this time around. Hong, on the other hand side, end of 17th. Yeah, so 16 for Gomez, 17 for Hong. need to keep an eye on that, and we need to kind of just have a quick check here in a second when we actually get to the pit lane where we're at. Hong is very far behind, but that said, there's actually also a bunch of people that haven't pitted yet, so that's probably part of the reason right there. So looking at Hong, I think we're going to go and get that tyre strategy quite far down quite quickly. Andre's tyres also being quite hot, we will make sure to tune those down for fuel. Hong should have plenty. Andre, we need to keep a closer eye on. So let's go and have a little checkpoint here with him. We have got 7.49 laps of fuel remaining, and I think he needs to go like 7. So we'll keep it at that for the time being. Tyres feel fine-ish for the time being. So let's continue like that for now. Hong, 11th spot. I do hope that he is nicely catching up to the people up front, of course, that are looking to pit soon, so we can get in a good position for when they're actually in, which is right now. So let's see where we actually end up after that pit stop of the enemy AI. On the straight now, overtaking a good bunch of people, but we end up behind the 7th, and that guy slows us down to get overtaken by another dude. Oh my god, that gets me so frustrated. Did you just see that? That is so annoying. Gomez, 17th spot as well. Hong, all the way down to 8th spot. We had such a good start to the race. Why can we not just keep things going if we are already doing that well? It is so annoying. But we'll keep strategies where they're at for the time being. I think there's not really any chance to change much here currently, because we really need to watch our tyres. Andre doesn't have much fuel. Hong does have a lot of fuel to burn, but that's about everything we can do for strategy with him. And then if we go across the line for a quick checkpoint, first things first, we're overtaking one person there in the pit lane, which is at least something. And he will be at 6.86 laps, which we said he's going to come in the 17th. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 to go. So he's got nearly a lap of fuel extra still remaining. Tyres looking quite fine. And then we've got the checkpoint for Gomez, which we will just pause when he is on the line. 5.32 laps of fuel remaining. Not quite that much of a reserve, but he can still keep going in that strategy for the time being. So we'll keep things where they are at. Okay. Moving on from that one then. We'll keep Hong in that engine mode for the time being, because I feel the engine mode is like one of our most crucial levers here to keep people where they're at. Feels like the sooner we keep stepping off that, the more it really hurts us. But you can see just how quickly we run through fuel that way. I do think I need to tune Hong down to high now, and that will probably cause him to drop back a little more, but we just don't have enough fuel remaining to push it any further. Tyre-wise, you know, we do technically have a little bit of leeway, but I would like that to leave that a little longer just to see that we are actually doing fine here. Less leeway for Gomez remaining lap by lap, so that is certainly a concern, but what we do have a little more leeway remaining with there is tyres. So we will go and push that strategy a bit for him in terms of tyres, and then we will keep that going like that. So that's the idea right there. You can see Hong is starting to get reeled in a bit now with the engine mode, so that is a bit of an issue. But he's only got 0.4 laps of fuel remaining, so it's literally 10% extra for every lap that he still has to go, so it's not great. It really is not great. We kind of need to manage there. We will put Gomez down back to neutral again. Actually, we don't really have that much leeway as I was hoping, and he's in the 19th spot, so oh, Jesus Christ, man. It is absolutely mad. Hong is at least clinging on to dear life a little more than Gomez is, but I'm still not like super happy with how things are going for him either. I do have to say, so we really need to see here. Now for tyres, like Gomez has really got an issue. We should have maybe not pushed him that much, because now he's going to be running into issues soon. 2.16 laps of fuel remaining, which is still fine-ish at the very least. Hong are also still fine-ish, but the tyres need to stay where they are at. So we'll leave that as is for the time being. No, don't get overtaken, Hong. Yes. Come on, keep going. Through the next corner. Yes, next corner as well. Don't do it. No. Our spot. No. Well, there we go. Down into 8th spot, unfortunately. And things are really starting to hurt now for both of our team members here. We've got 2.19 laps of fuel remaining for Hong, which should be fine. Same deal for the tyres. And Gomez is actually in a bit of a predicament of a situation for fuel, but that said, No, we're going to go to medium just to make sure he doesn't run out of fuel, because that's going to cost us more time, honestly, than just tuning down the engine mode a little bit. We will go to attack on the tyres, because, well, he can literally just burn them up now. Last lap going, and then we will go for a fast pit stop, as per usual, to try and get him up at least a little bit in the ranks. But that said, he is now technically in 17th spot. Once he was in the pits, that won't be the case anymore. Hong, on the other hand side, will have to hold on to dear life for another lap, and fingers crossed that he'll at least somewhat manage. We are in 8th spot now, but I think there must have been someone pitting in front of him, right? Or did he retake the spot while I didn't notice? I don't think so. His form is absolutely gigantic, by the way. 7.2, doing quite well, and you can really see it does reflect in his race, so I'm at the least very, very happy with that. Last lap starting for him now, and we are... Good thing, by the way, we swapped down engine strategy here. 0.11 laps, and he's still not at the curve. We are going to go and get him into the pits now as well for a last pit stop, and that pit stop will have to work out for us. It is going to be a fast one again, so fingers crossed that somehow the crew can make it work. Andre is now in the pits, going for that pit stop, going for a very fast one without any issues, which is beautiful, beautiful news indeed. And he will have, well, technically 10 laps remaining, so yes, we do technically have excess fuel, but not really much of that. I am going to go and ask him to push a little bit for the time being, but that won't last for too long. And Hong, we will get into the pits now, which, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter if he loses the spot before then or not. If you can slow down the enemy driver a little bit, why not? Now, all these guys are going to hold on for a little longer. I'm seeing a lot of them actually here that may go for a bunch longer, or shouldn't be able to make it to the end of the race. Hopefully, if they are, I mean, holy cow, are we behind on tyre degradation? I hope they won't be able to, because that'll just totally mess up our race. That said, there goes Hong into the pits, going for the refuel, and no issues whatsoever. Jesus Christ, thank you so much, my beautiful, beautiful dear pit crew. I absolutely love you. What would I be without you? That said, there is still 8 laps remaining in the race, isn't there? Is Hong didn't get lapped, right? So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah. No, that's definitely 9 laps. He does need to complete the last one as well, of course. So, 9 laps to plan with. Can't go too hard on tyres, as for last time, can go quite hard on fuel. Same deal pretty much with his strategy. For Andre, we do now need to pretty much already tune down the fuel and the tyre strategy to make sure that he is going to be fine. For Hong, we will pretty much now just tune down the tyre strategy, leave the fuel where it is, and then, you know, he will get going. 13th spot is quite close there up front. He's already starting to retake a spot or two. Really interested to see if and when these other guys need to go into the pits. I really hope they do, because otherwise we are pretty much ending in 14th spot, which can really not be the goal right here. And some of these people are really looking like they could finish like that. Fingers crossed that is not going to be the case, though. We are here now. 7 laps of 7 laps of the race remaining, pretty much. So, ooh, no, overtake. Why are you braking just behind him? That's not the way to go. We are on way fresher tyres than Dreyfus here up front, so I do hope that he can make something happen before he or she slows us down too much. That would be absolutely bad for our race. Bunch of people now in the pits that we really need to overtake this time around. Please go ahead and make that happen. On go. That is 10th spot for us. Oh my god, you are absolutely joking. You are absolutely joking. I am so annoyed at that right now. I cannot word just how freaking annoyed I am at that right now. We were just in 10th spot. In the scope of our sponsor objective, set to take a decent amount of points home, and 5 laps before the end of the race, he just bins it into the wall. I don't even know what to say about this anymore. That must be like the 5th DNF or something due to driver default from Hong this season. I am so annoyed, out of my mind at that. I think that guy may have literally just cost us our seat as the manager of this team. We're not going to get anything from this race. We're not going to get any points now. The lead of the enemy teams is going to get only bigger from here on out. And we will not have any chance, unless we get like first and second in the last race, to bring this one home. I am so... I honestly just want to... I honestly just want to rage quit this game right now. What in the world just happened? I cannot. I don't have any words for this. This is absolutely dumb. I'm sorry, but like, what in the world? What do you even say? Now we're just focusing, I guess, on getting Andre home in 18th spot, because, like, yay! What? I don't have any words for this, honestly. I'm sorry, guys, but, like, I don't really know what to say. I set us up for a decent race. We were about to take home 300k from the sponsorship objective. We were about to just take home a good bunch of points. Maybe even a few more if, like, someone would have had their tires fall off or, you know, would have crashed, would have had some issues. That would have been a decent bit of points. We would have not had a great race, but at least a successful one for where we currently stand. Something that we could have been halfway happy with, and that could have maybe helped us catch up a little bit. Now my rear wing's damaged. What in the world? How's that even possible? That's a stand-up part. But well, instead, we get another crash tong, the 15 bajillionth in the season, and just a messed up race. There's no other way to put it. Just a messed up, useless race. Now Andre gets into 16th because 2 people actually had to pit and we would have been 8th. That just freaking adds insult to injury. I am like so annoyed right now. Right, that is just absolutely heart-shattering. I don't even know, man. What do we say about that? It wasn't even like he was in a particularly aggressive tyre strategy or something. It wasn't like he was pushing out of his mind. I don't even know, man. That is so disheartening. We had such a good race. It was going well. 8th spot would have been like all we ever needed to keep hanging on in this fight to stay in the managing seat, you know? It was all we would have ever needed. It would have helped us so much. He had a good race. He was doing well. Why? Why in the world? I don't even know. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you understand my frustration here. But if we look right here, you can see that 8th spot would have been 13 points. And with the 5 points that Gomez got us now, we would have gotten 18 points. We would have actually received 18 points in a race. But Hong just decided to be stupid as usual. Like, what else are we going to say about this race? It went well until it didn't. And, you know, it just goes to show you how often Hong has DNF'd. If you compare the performance of his car and the theoretical level of his driver skills to Andre, he should be like here. But he's only 6 points ahead in the entire Drivers' Championship. Where do we go wrong, guys? We're now in 10th spot. Honestly, we should have gotten another 13. We should be 13 spots, 13 points away, or even a little less, because we would have stolen some from them. We would have been like 10 points away from Dragon Race Team China. Now we are 26 points away. And I mean, we literally need both of them in the top 10 in the next race. And Dragon Rise Team China to not get any points if we want to have any chance of this. Or, you know, alternatively, we could just also go the easy way of just winning a race. Because that's quite realistic currently. So, yeah. Not doing well. Really not doing well. I think this may now officially be the 1 point that broke our necks here. We'll see. We'll see what comes. We'll see what happens. We'll keep pushing in the next episode. We'll make sure to get the cars even better for the last Grand Prix. We'll give it all. We'll try and do the best result ever. And hopefully the drivers will just give it their all. And then let's see what happens. It literally goes down to the very last race this season. And we may very, very well lose our seat at managing this team. But we'll see. We'll find out. For today, I'm going to have to end it off right here. I hope you all enjoyed it, at the very least. I guess it keeps things very nice and interesting for you guys, most certainly, and very tense indeed. So, if you did, please make sure to go ahead and smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon, in order to stay up to date on the next upcoming episodes and in order to not miss out when I get fired from my own team, most likely. So, as usual then, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.